how I raised my credit score from 568 to 811. I know something they don't know. Yeah, and this is no funny business about buying trade lines or buying someone's credit or any of that funny business. I'm gonna tell you the real way to increase your credit score fast. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, all you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
I'm gonna share with you my secret step-by-step process, very detailed, on how to increase your credit scores. I'm gonna share with you some shortcuts that saved me months. And last but not least, I'm gonna share with you my dirty little secret on how I increase my credit score and how I can keep it there almost forever. So let's talk credit. As many of you guys already know, there are 3 personal credit bureaus that report our personal credit. We have Equifax, we have TransUnion, and we have Experian. And all 3 of those credit bureaus give us a different credit score. They take into account how many different accounts we have. For example, if you have a car note, if you have a student loan, if you have credit cards, they'll report those as trade lines, how well you've paid those accounts, if you've made any late payments, what the balance is when you started, what your current balance is, and what the highest limit is if it's like a credit card. And they report all of this different information and it creates a score. We also have negative things that could report like late payments or collections or charge-offs, things like that, things in public records like judgments or foreclosures. And all of these different things culminate to create a credit score. So depending on what you're doing, most of us know that you need a credit score over 700 in order to get most credit cards, cars, houses, and things like that. If you pay most of your bills on time and you don't utilize a lot of your credit, you will have a great credit score. But there's things that affect our credit even if we pay our bills on time. That was the case for me. So let me tell you my story because, like I said, your credit score could be affected even if you pay all of your bills on time. Many of you know if you don't pay your bills, you can have a low credit score, but in some cases, you can end up with a low credit score just because of your debt utilization. This was the case for me. So like I said, 10 years ago, I was in my parents' basement in 2009, 2010, and I had terrible credit. But that was because I had a bankruptcy and multiple foreclosures. Once I learned wholesaling and I started making some money, I was able to fix my credit. But then fast forward to about 4 years ago when I decided to be a full-time entrepreneur, my credit score tanked again. I had got my credit score all the way up from, back in the 2009s to this great credit score of like 750, but then my credit score went down, way down to 568 4 years ago when I quit my job and became an entrepreneur. It was devastating for me. The reason that my credit score dropped was because I started using my credit cards to fund my business. When I became an entrepreneur and I no longer had my paycheck coming in, I still had things that I needed to do, like put out ads and send letters and, do marketing and Facebook ads and all of these things. And I was putting in my personal credit cards. So just using as an example, when I was running Facebook ads, I put in my personal credit card and my credit score went down 200 points, okay? I had like a 755 and then it went down to 568. I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. I had Discover cards and all of these little personal credit cards, Capital One, and I could not believe that I now had this low credit score. And then it got even worse because the credit cards that I had, those credit card companies started shutting down my limits. So for example, if I had like a $10,000 credit limit and I had used 8,000 or 9,000 of it spending on Facebook ads, they lowered my limit to what my balance was. So if I had like a $9,000 balance on it, they lowered that to my limit so I couldn't use the credit card anymore, and it tanked my credit score because it made it seem like my balances and my limits were all maxed out. I was devastated. I did not know what to do, but because I had actually fixed my credit before, I did know what to do, and I'm gonna tell you some secret things that I learned. I did some of those things and some new stuff. So let me tell you how to get out of this situation. The first thing that I needed to do to fix my credit, and most people need to do, is get the bad stuff off your credit. I know that sounds easy and most people already know that, but if you have collections or charge-offs or judgments or anything negative, even late payments, you need to get that stuff off. If you can get that bad stuff off your credit report, you can instantly get your credit score back up. And many people are like, yeah, I know, but how do you do it? Well, I'm gonna give you a shortcut because that's what I said that I would do. Again, I have an entire video that teaches you the long way if you wanna spend some time and write some letters. I made an entire video on how to increase your credit score. I'll make sure to put a link there and in the description box. But I'm gonna tell you the shortcut that I did. I use Credit Restoration. And again, I don't have any ownership in this company, but it was a company that I use called Creative Credit Solutions. I'll make sure to put a link down in the description box. Make sure you use that link. They helped me get all of the bad stuff off of my credit because I had paid a couple of the credit cards late. I know I didn't say that part, but I did. I needed to get some of those late payments removed and some other stuff. Now, again, I'm not going to get into my own personal situation because we all have our own situation, but the owner who I worked with directly, he has grown his business exponentially because he's really good at what he does. I had tried so many different other credit repair companies, but this was Credit Restoration, and they can do things that other people could not. He got my credit score up really quickly by getting some of those things deleted off of my credit report, and I just had to pay a small fee. It was not very expensive, and it was very effective for me. Now, again, everybody has their own situation. You can do your own personal consult with them. I'll make a link in the below. But that was a quick shortcut. I needed a professional to get this done, and I did not have time to write all of the letters and dispute all of the things. Now that does work. And again, I have a video teaching you how to DIY, do it yourself to fix your credit if you want to do that. But if you're looking for a shortcut and you want to get your credit scores up quickly, that's what I did. I had a little bit of money. It was just a couple $100 or something like that a month, or I don't even remember. It wasn't very much. And he got my credit scores up really quickly and started getting those things deleted off quickly. So check them out and see if that works for you. Let me tell you the next thing. The number 2 thing I did after getting the bad stuff off. So if you, again, are looking to increase your credit score, you need to get the bad stuff off. You can get things deleted and removed off of your credit report. The next thing that you do is you need new accounts to bring your account up. And this is what I did back in 2009, 2010 to get my credit score up. I got added as an authorized user again on my dad's credit cards. So he has some credit cards that he was able to add me as an authorized user, and this boosted my credit score up tremendously. I only wanted him to put me on the good credit cards, you know, the Chase and the American Express, none of the store credit cards. I didn't want any Kohl's cards or Sears credit cards. Those don't really help your credit score. I needed real credit cards, so Capital One, Chase, Bank of America, you get what I'm saying. If you have someone that can add you as an authorized user, this is an amazing way to get your credit score up. It will report as a trade line on your credit report, and you are not necessarily responsible for the debt. If you have someone that is willing to do this for you, it is an amazing trick to get your credit score up, and I highly suggest it. The next thing I did, and this was super easy, I needed to start transferring all of that personal debt onto my business. Like I shared with you guys earlier, my credit score tanked because I started using my credit cards like crazy, but I was using them for my business. I wanted to send out letters and do ads and, run Facebook ads. So it was a necessity for my business to do this, but I didn't want my credit score to suffer in the process. So what am I doing? Why am I using my personal credit cards for my business when there's a such thing as business credit cards? So this is when I started learning about business credit cards. Again, it was like 4 years ago. Now, mind you, I've had businesses for well over 15 years and did not know about business credit. So my bad, that was my mistake. You will not make that same mistake. And one of the amazing things that you can do with business credit cards is start transferring that personal debt to the business credit cards and fixing your personal credit in the process. So let me give you a quick example. When I got my Chase business credit card, they told me I could do a transfer. I could do a balance transfer. And so the Discover card that I had nearly maxed out, I transferred that balance to the business credit card, and I just made instead of making the payments to Discover on my personal Discover, I just started making it to the Chase business. Boom. Now my Discover card is paid in full. Boom. My credit score went all the way up because it's at a zero balance. And the Chase business credit card didn't report on my personal credit report because it's a business credit card. And that's a simple process. I know I just said that, and hopefully I blew your mind. You can start transferring your personal credit cards over to your business, and the same money that you're paying those personal credit cards, you can use to pay your business credit cards. And now your personal credit is not affected, and you're winning because there's tax write-offs that comes along with business credit cards. Again, I'm not a tax professional. I'm not going to get into all of that, but it is an amazing thing to use your business credit cards and pay the interest to the business credit cards instead of using your personal credit cards, which are not a business expense. So there you have it. This is how I increased my credit score from 568 to 811 and why I can keep my personal credit score intact. Because I now have business credit cards and I no longer have those personal credit cards that I have to deal with, I no longer have to worry about my personal score going up and down. It's absolutely amazing. And I teach you all of this on my channel, so make sure you watch all of these videos. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure you click that little notification bell so you do not miss any of this content that I am bringing to you every single day, absolutely free. I want to make sure that you have all of the tools, all of the knowledge, and all of the resources that you need to be successful. This is Noelle, to your success.